Welcome to the Breakdown to Breakthrough podcast. My name is Lisa A. Romano. I am a life coach, best-selling author, YouTube vlogger, meditation teacher, and expert in the field of codependency and narcissistic abuse. I am a believer in the power of an organized mind. My aim is to help people learn what it means to live above the veil of consciousness rather than living a reactive life. May your heart feel blessed, your mind feel expanded, and your spirit find hope as you spend time with me here at the Breakdown to Breakthrough podcast. In this episode, I will be sharing with you a clip of a live stream for the 12-week Breakthrough Coaching Program. In the coming weeks, we will share at least 3 different clips in the hopes of inspiring you to believe incredibly deeply in the power to change your life when you know how to break through and live above the veil of consciousness. In the following episode, you will hear me answer the members' questions live. Enjoy. It seems like this was a very intense week for a lot of us. We were all going through our own issues. You're coming through the veil, but coming to the same conclusions in our own time. The support that we all are giving each other in this group has been invaluable and very much appreciated. Your participation with your husband as a couple has also been really, really appreciated. It's really added, I think, a specific ingredient to the class. So I appreciate you. What can I do as a father, knowing my children will be stuck with a vulnerable narcissistic mother, to help them start to develop a healthy sense of self and start helping them regain the lost steps in development that I have started to recover in the last few months? I love that question. That is such a beautiful, clear question. And it's so articulate. And also, I believe what you're learning is going to come through. Don't stop. So you have to teach your children to develop the mindset of growth. The fact, if the father has a growth mindset and you deliberately say that to your children, I'm into personal development. I'm into personal growth, right? I made a lot of mistakes when I was younger because I didn't understand stuff. Like daddy's doing this and daddy's doing that. Daddy's going for a jog and daddy's doing that. Daddy's doing this. You know, you teach your children, oh, daddy had a hard day. Well, what did you do, dad? Well, I journaled about it. Oh, that's empowerment. That's not victimhood. I felt a certain way. I felt disempowered and I found a way to feel more empowered. Well, how? I learned the lesson. Oh, so bad hardship isn't a problem? No, not when you develop a growth mindset. Now, not when it's like, what am I learning? What did I learn? What did that teach me? Because the minute you face a challenge with that mindset, what am I learning? What did I miss? You'll never make that mistake again. And you can't go into, I was going to say Corvettes. That's how old I am, right? Those of you who are old enough to remember Corvettes and Gertz. Oh my God, lions and tigers and bears. Oh my. But the type of knowledge that you're gaining along your life path doing this type of work, you can't walk into Target and buy it. You can't download this wisdom from the Apple Store. You have to experience it. And so your growth is invaluable to your children. So you have to keep growing and you have to keep modeling this. This is your path. This is your calling. And then you have to let go because you can't make their growth your goal. You have to have your own identity. This is who I am. This is what I'm learning. This is my growth, right? This is incredible. Where I was, where I am, where I'm going. This is great. And part of that is to inspire my children. I send them videos all the time. I actually hand them my books and say, please read it. And they're like, you're my mom. We don't have to read it. I go, no, you're wrong. I'm telling you, you're wrong. You need this stuff. I cannot bring these horses. Well, I can. I can bring them to the water, but I can't make them drink. Right. So my identity isn't tied up in whether or not my kids get it or whether or not my kids awaken. I know that they're on their own path. And even when we all croak, we leave all this behind. We leave the ego behind and we merge with source. Our energy transforms into the one. There's nothing really to worry about. Our life is so short. Hold on, it'll be over soon. For all of us, I don't mean to be so like laissez-faire about the croaking situation, but my Lord, we're all going to croak. Even our kids, they're all going to croak. The dog is going to croak. The birds, everything's going to croak. The tree that you love in the backyard is going to croak. It's okay. It's been happening for billions of years. Like, you ain't going to stop it. I say stop resisting it and just really look at it like, oh my God, what can I really control? Only my life. So be a really good role model is what I'm saying. I'm getting clear from her and working on creating a safe space as a first step, both for them and me, then trying to be a good role model. What else can I do? I think you're doing it. Like, what else you can do is honor yourself. Honor yourself. I don't want anybody to stop their journey here. And I don't want it to come off like you have to do my masterclass. I suggest that you do because it's a continuation. And I suggest that you do Soul School. But this is a personal choice. But I will say this, don't stop growing. Keep going. Keep learning. Follow the breadcrumbs. What teacher is resonating with you? Go there. And the minute that teacher stops resonating with you, turn around, about face, and go back. But make growth your agenda. Make financial health your agenda. Make your emotional health your agenda. Make boundaries for self an agenda. Make consciousness your agenda. Make your legacy an agenda. Make connections, good connections with other people, an agenda. And sort through the crap. In other words, like, don't cast your pearls before the swine. You create connections, and if it's not working, you double back. Like, you pull back. You've worked too hard to tolerate nonsense. Like, be very, very mindful. But if you keep growing, make sure that your home reflects daddy's okay. Responsibility, autonomy. Teach them how to manage their money. Teach them how to manage their mind. Leave books around that. Oh, even if it's just planting a seed, put it in the quantum field. When they come over, make sure the artwork on your walls represents emotional maturity, autonomy. I'm okay. Eat well. Teach them how to eat well. Don't have the news on when they come over. Don't talk about the world, because people are perpetuating the negativity in the world by paying attention to the negativity in the world. Did you know that if the entire world fell asleep and for 7 days we could hypnotize, the entire, animals are already doing it. We don't have to worry about the animals on land, in the sky, or in the sea. We don't have to worry about them because they're already harmonious. We don't have to worry about the trees and the grass. Everything in nature is harmonious. All operates at alpha. They're tuned in to the universal field, the unified field. We don't have to worry about them. But if we could anesthetize the entire world for 7 days, and we can infuse their consciousness, we can make them forget history. When these people awakened, when we all awakened, we look at each other with a very different way of being. Wars would cease. Diseases would fall away. It would be amazing. So what I'm trying to say is that we don't want to keep bringing forward any negativity. So move forward knowing that you are infusing your children's mind with positivity, potential, autonomy, accountability, responsibility, and emotional intelligence and emotional resiliency. Allowing. Don't talk bad about their mom. Just, I woke up, right? I wish her well. She has a right to be angry. She has a right to feel the way she feels. She has a right to date who she wants to date. She has a right to spend her money the way she wants to spend it, right? She's over here now, and I'm over here now, and I'm creating this. And if you continue to move in that direction, then what you're going to see is you're going to develop a sense of security, and everything's going to improve. Your financial health, your mental health, your physical health, relationship health, everything will improve. The thing that creators have to be careful of is this process of deconstruction. When we accept it in physicality, but not in spirituality or emotionality. If I wanted to create, I win the lottery. I get an inheritance, or I get a big advance, right? And I love that house near the lake. And I want to build a beautiful house, but there's this old crappy house on the lake. I accept with complete acceptance and surrender. There's no animosity. There's no resistance. I have to knock the house down. And I accept that it might take a couple of weeks for it to be bulldozed. And it might be noisy and loud and cost me a bunch of money. I accept all of that because I know that in doing that, the end goal is I'm going to get what I want to manifest. Okay, we all accept that. There's this deconstruction phase that's really uncomfortable. So here you are in stage one with your ex-wife or soon to be.
I'm here. I don't like this house. I don't like what we built. Some of it's her, some of it's me, but bad combination. I'm changing. She's not changing. I got to go. Got to knock that house down. Phase 2. Like a lot of people squirm in, phase 2, or they avoid phase 2. But the only way to get to phase 3, which is this beautiful new house in the lake, is if for you to tolerate phase 2. So this is a phase 2. Iyanla Vanzant, I read a book years and years and years ago, over 25 years ago, in the meantime. Right? This is your meantime. If you can just accept it, breathe through it, allow, don't resist it, don't close yourself off, or keep your heart open, you'll be fine. Life will be better than ever. I finally mustered the courage tonight to tell my narcissistic life partner that I'm done. One part of me feels anger and resentment towards her for sucking me dry financially. Another part of me feels guilty for letting her down. She was relying on me to pay bills. I am at risk for apologizing and going back. I'm in a terrible mental space right now. Any thoughts? Well, you're in phase 2. Phase 2 is deconstruction. So I think that anger is better than guilt, right? Anger allows you to set a boundary. It is a very healthy emotion. And I would say that the anger is coming from your higher self and your future self. And the feeling guilty is the little boy inside of you that could never please your mommy. That's my opinion. So you are experiencing cognitive dissonance, and it's so uncomfortable. I want this. No, I want that. I want this. No, I want that. I have a right to say this, you bastard, you selfish pig. Like, I have a right. She sucked me dry. She's so abusive. She's so narcissistic. She's so selfish. She never cared about me. She just wanted her money. She's using me. Oh my God, she needs me. I was paying her all her bills. That poor girl. Ooh, lions and tigers and bears. Oh my. Quick story. Ooh, when I was going through my wanting to get divorced, I had a vision of my ex being alone on Father's Day. I had a vision of my ex being alone, waking up on his birthday. I was so filled with guilt and remorse about wanting to divorce him, about wanting to take the kids away from him. And that was a very immature perception. And it was coming from a very wounded place because my mother had taught me that I didn't have a right to set boundaries. I didn't have a right to want. I didn't have a right to say enough is enough. And so part of why that worked or that became solidified was because she was so able to make me feel guilty for setting a boundary and wanting something else. It was tied to my wanting to move forward was my higher self saying, Lisa, this is not working. You're never going to grow in this relationship. You will die the way your grandmothers died in their relationships with their husbands. And you're going to be just like your mom if you don't keep going. My mother was going to leave my father, but she boomeranged back because she felt sorry for him and she died under his thumb. And my mother could have been magnificent. She had it in her. I know. And I think that the part of me that keeps me moving forward actually is my mom. So my mom had the same, I can do this, but she let it die. The guilt of leaving my father, the guilt of moving forward, the guilt of being happy with someone else just overwhelmed her decision-making process. The cognitive dissonance was too much and the past won out. You're not in a terrible mental space right now. You're just in a space you aren't in very often, which is about you. And you want to be careful because if your mother did a really good job on suffocating you, then that's where this is coming from. And it's up to you to say no more. It's up to you to say no more. This life partner will have to figure it out. And you enabling her, and if she's narcissistic, like you've said in the past, and she's entitled, she doesn't see you. Just like narcissistic mothers don't see their boys. They only see what their boys can do for them. That's it. We're not real people to narcissists. We don't exist. I had a client this week say, she's struggling with the betrayal. And I said, I hope I can help you understand this. Don't take it personally. Like, you did not exist in the narcissist's head. They had a narcissistic need. They had a narcissistic desire for money. They didn't want to have to go create it. They didn't want to get off their ass and have to go get a freaking job and be humble and vulnerable enough to learn some skills that someone actually pay them for. They didn't want to be bothered with all that. They wanted you to stay at work. They wanted you to give them money. Narcissistic. And if you didn't, they feel entitled. This is the crazy thing. They think they're right. They think they're right. Right? So in their twisted brain, the way they guilt you and manipulate you and get you to feel sorry for them, if you're a codependent, if your mother suffocated you, if your mother made you feel guilty, it works. And even if you came from a healthy background, if you have high empathy and you've got something a narcissist wants, a narcissist is mentally and emotionally equipped enough to make you feel like they are entitled to ask you for it. It's sick. It's sick. No. You have to ask yourself, did I exist in this woman's mind? Really, as a real man? Or was I Pinocchio? Did she just pull my strings? And am I struggling? Is it my higher self and my authentic self that wants to be free of this and know what it's like to have a truly autonomous, loving, mutually satisfying relationship with another individualized woman who doesn't need me and doesn't want to need me, but is self-sufficient and appreciates me for the depth of who I am and not what I can give her narcissistically? Is that really what you want? You might just want to be free of narcissistic women, women that mirror your mother's energy. That's okay. That's your right, dear one. I know that was I have to be free of these daddy issues and these mommy issues. I have to be free before I die of these issues, right? Part of me, however, innately, since I was 7 years old, always felt like I have to attract this unique, special, mutually satisfying, loving relationship with a man. I have to do that. And I'm so grateful that I have. But I could only do that because I faced the guilt, which was really a reflection of the manipulation that my mother had created to keep me under her thumb as a child. The power play was, I'm going to control what emotions Lisa experiences as they relate to what I think about of her. I'm going to mess with her head through glares, through withholding of love, through sarcasm, through criticism, through pulling her hair. Oh, I'm only brushing your hair, like whatever, right? Like whatever she did was really rough, right? And I was like, what the hell is going on? Didn't feel loving. But I'm going to do all these things and control what Lisa thinks I think about her, because I know she wants me to love her and I know she wants my validation, but I'm not going to give it to her. I'm going to mess with her head. Ha, 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 right? So my mother didn't want money from me, but she wanted that from me. That's sick, but it is what it is. In your case, if you've been manipulated financially, you've been manipulated emotionally and psychologically, probably sexually too. Just saying it like it is, dear one. Probably been manipulated so that you feel like you have no right to your autonomous energy as a man to say no to this woman. And make no mistake, no, I know 3 narcissistic women in my life that are abusing the men in their life this way. 3. It's not the men. It's 3 women in my circle, immediate circle, via like the 6 degrees of separation, via my family. I know 3 women that are narcissistic, covert narcissists that are manipulating their spouses and their children and stepchildren. 3. This happens. If you're not happy, that's enough. If she was the sweetest little button in the world, and she went to church every Sunday, and you came to this group and you said, I'm not happy, I'd say, you have a right to leave. You have a right to move forward. Absolutely. The relationship has brought its season, and you've learned what you learned. Now it's time to move forward. You don't be callous about it. You don't betray her. You don't be dismissive. You be appreciative, but you have the right to end anything that's not serving you anymore. My thoughts are that you're between the inner child is like all of the wounds from you as a child not being allowed to develop autonomy and individuality due to the relationship with your mom. That little boy is screaming, please don't say no to her. She might abandon me. She might hate me. Your higher self, through all the work that you're learning in this program, has to step forward and say, little man, I'll never abandon you. I'll never leave you. And we don't need to settle for crumbs anymore. We don't need these types of women in our life anymore. The way you were mothered wasn't enough, and this ain't enough. You're better off being alone than being in this. Those are my thoughts.